30, I was still languishing, with almost nothing checked off my life list. I had barely established a career, and yet, still, I felt like any minute I'd be rushing through these milestones, hurling toward a place where I could stop, where I'd feel like I'd arrived. But you're still so young. Anyone in the struggle of trying to figure out why certain parts of your life aren't anchored the way you thought they'd be has heard this, usually from a well-meaning older person trying to convince you your life is not as big a mess as you're sure it is. No one younger than you would say this. Sometimes you might even hear it in your own head as a pep talk. When you're looking in the mirror, wondering who the reflection in front of you is going to become, or while you're lying in bed, finding it hard to get up. But you're still so young. You have time. Keep going. In the 1950s, sociologists identified 5 milestones that, when completed, mean a person has fully transitioned into adulthood. Much like what I had instinctively defined for myself, they are 1. Completing school, 2. Leaving home, 3. Becoming financially independent, 4. Marrying, and 5. Having a child. In general, in the 1950s, and for decades afterward, these milestones were completed by the early 30s at the latest. They were often achieved even sooner, in the late teens or early 20s. In 1975, U.S. Census data shows that 45% of women and men had attained the traditional markers of adulthood by the time they reached 34. But today, cultural shifts and economic turmoil have changed both whether these milestones feel necessary and if they are attainable. Many young people have not become fully adult yet, traditionally defined as completing school, landing a job with benefits, marrying, and parenting, because they are not ready or perhaps not permitted to do so. Sociologist and University of Pennsylvania professor Frank F. Furstenberg Jr. wrote in a 2004 report examining what it means to become an adult in America today, research funded by the MacArthur Foundation. In 2016, according to census data, just 24% of women and men had completed these milestones by the time they reached 34. We start working only after finishing the advanced degrees we're told we need to compete in an information-based economy, and in many cases accumulate substantial debt while doing so. We have less financial stability than young people before us due to many factors, including school debt, the modern gig economy, stagnant wages, and repeated economic upheaval caused by the 2008 financial crisis, and most recently the coronavirus pandemic. We returned to our parents' homes after we thought we left for good, either because we can't afford our own places or because we're not sure yet where our dreams will take us. We marry at our own pace, if at all. And if we decide we want children, we try to have them when we feel ready, a delay driven by women's wider range of career options, as well as assisted reproductive science that can make childbearing possible past our most fertile years. The timetable of the 1950s is no longer applicable, Furstenberg wrote. But you're still so young. It's true that we do have time, and we're taking it. Tom W. Smith, who for 4 decades directed the General Social Survey, a large sociological data-gathering project run by the National Opinion Research Center, NORC, at the University of Chicago, thinks the age of completing school, getting married, and having kids is only going up. I do think it has to hit a plateau, but I don't think it has hit that yet, he says. In another 10 or 20 years, we're not going to be talking about this as a delay. We'll be accepting this as the normal trajectory. But what's implicit in anyone telling you, but you're still so young, is the idea that eventually you'll get to some sort of standardized adulthood. We're told to follow these kinds of timelines, that if we do, we will be happy with our lives. Shaking them up, either by rejecting certain milestones or accepting that we may not be able to achieve them, goes against what we're taught. These markers are supposed to be some sort of an end. When we arrive at them...